Is that Sky Striker locking down a regional top 8? I believe it is. Alright, to the 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that region breakdown, loving discussion, make sure you guys do so you don't miss out on more awesome content. So for your breakdown here, for this regional, this is very, very interesting. I like what I'm seeing here, because this showcases a lot of the back and forth that we've been seeing this format. We had 3 Cash Money dollar bill decks in Top Cut. Thank you, Kashtira. The fact that this deck still maintains a chokehold on... It's usually between these regionals. It's usually between Kashtira and Despia that are kind of fighting each other for dominance among these platforms here. And that's kind of what you're seeing here when you kind of take a look at this. Is the big hold for this one was Kashtira. Now, once we kind of start to dip on down here into the more interesting things, we had 1 Despia deck in Top Cut. So Despia is still present here. It's still doing things within the confines of the format, and that's fine. That's what you still want to see, like the standard metagame competitors still doing things. We also had 1 Sprite deck still kind of showing up here doing its thing. So Sprite's kind of been going through its like little innovation period here, where it just kind of needs a little bit more time to kind of evolve and see what it wants to do. We also had 1 Labyrinth deck in Top Cut as well. So Labyrinth's still kind of doing its thing here within the format, which is actually not bad. And then we also had 1 Sword Soul player in Top Cut. Pretty lonely out here, if you ask me, to be a Sword Soul player. Then we also had Sky Striker actually locking down 2nd place out of this event. So grinding through everything that we'd already kind of seen here for the particulars of this event. Overall, not too bad for a Top Cut. All right, we're going to pass on over for some of these deck lists. All right, winning our event here was actually Cash Money Dollar Bills the deck. Now, this is actually kind of interesting because I see that this build is sporting off Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars. Now, I've not really seen a lot of players giving consideration to this, but I feel like the entire application behind, at least the thought process, was, you know, toggle out something that your opponent forces you to maybe sit on as a dead brick or something. You know, maybe open up too many of something just to toggle for some draw power, or you opened up the Birth to get the quick revive on back. Either way, it is an interesting choice. I also were playing 1 Dimension Shifter in the main, 2 in the side. So I guess if we end up running into a matchup here that doesn't really, or that we need to see here, then we can kind of pressure our opponent with, I guess, the 1-up, but it's kind of interesting. Of course, we have double Crossout Designator in here as well to kind of round up this list. Not bad. Next up, we have Turtles Express, aka, I like turtles. Yes, we are playing Gamma Seals as our kaiju of choice for this deck so that we can break our opponent's board. We're playing Hiya Thrust to toggle on into our evenly matched to blow our opponent out. I think it's kind of hilarious that Sky Striker, of all of the variants here, is the one that's getting the chance to take advantage of Thrust into evenly, and it looks like it worked out all day. I mean, as long as your opponent triggers their monster effect for you to be able to thrust into your evenly matched to laugh at them, Sky Striker cards should be able to equalize the rest of the playing field for you. So I think that's actually the hilarious thing about this is Sky Striker should be able to effectively trigger 1 interaction, or your opponent should be able to do it, and you just go search for the evenly, and then it's all sure. I also like the fact this is playing 1-dimensional barrier in the main, so that you could technically thrust on into it as well. You have a lot of option trees available for this particular list. Next up here, top 4, we have our Despia deck. We're playing 1 Lubellion, 1 Saronir, 1 Brandon Red. Okay. We're playing the Triple Fusion deployment. That kind of feels like that's been a little bit more of a norm at this point. We are playing the 1 Aqua Dolphin, but I kid you not. Okay, the Marine Dolphin is down there in the side deck. I was like, oh man, we're not even playing the Marine Dolphin? Yeah, we are. Okay, so you can toggle for the Aqua Dolphin like most of the other lists that we've seen. We're main decking the 1 Gold Sarcophagus. I have not seen a lot of these builds. A lot of people just kind of drop the whole Gold Sarcophagus thing. Like, Gold Sarcophagus into Mercurier is usually pretty decent, and once again, you're kind of seeing that here with this build. Of course, we're main decking the triple Giant Rock in the Sky, because Kashtira is not a fun deck at all. So many people are just like, and I get that, all right? You got to be able to round out some of those worst matchups. So, good stuff. Next up here is our second Cash Money Dollar Bills, the deck. Now, you do see here that the Arise Heart in the main deck is it 2. We've kind of seen here that some of these builds have been cutting back to 2 because, I mean, honestly, having 3 at certain points can end up being cloggy. I get that. So having that difference and pushback here, I think is really good. We are also playing the one Ogre. I've kind of noticed that the Ogre's been starting to show up a little bit more. I also see down here that we are playing the Goliath in the extra deck. So once again, that's where you'll make your big Arise Heart essentially indestructible. Thank you, being able to banish from the extra deck with Pot of Prosperity and then go ahead and toggle it underneath your Arise Heart. Interactions like that are why we love Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially cards that say, give your Machine Exceed monster, an additional effect. Gotta love good generic cards. Next up here is our Sprite deck making top 8 here. Now this build, the first thing I see is we're playing 1 Change of Heart, 1 Mind Control, double Enemy Controller. Those are 4 cards for you to take your opponent's monster in Kashtira and slap your own Arise Heart on top of it. Alright, now that's hilarious to me. The fact that you just have so many cards to go, okay, clean up, and then you can go ahead and evenly match them afterwards. So if your opponent leaves their walking, talking macro guy in the field, just go ahead and take it and to make your own. That's why I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes. It's the little things like that that really make it interesting. I see that we're citing the Eradicator Epidemic Virus down in the side deck as well. That's kind of interesting. But overall, everything that I'm seeing here for this list feels very, very normal for Sprite, and it's really to say something, because you don't get a lot of levels of innovation with this deck, as much as I wish that you did. Next up here is our Labyrinth list. Is that Karma Cut in there? Okay. Well, this build's getting away with playing 1 copy of Karma Cut here. I didn't actually think that we would be seeing that anytime soon, but that kind of shows you like how much room you get in Labyrinth to deck build. It showcases that so many ideas still kind of come to the table here. I also like that we're citing, or we have an Arise Heart in our extra deck, and I don't see a single way in here for us to make it. But alright, we're also playing the 1 Lord of the Heavenly Prison here. That's kind of something that we've seen these decks play just as the 1-up. And I also see that we're playing 3 of the Green Servant as well. So many builds for so long have just been playing 2 of the Green Servant. So to see a little bit of a difference here for this is actually kind of nice. Good stuff for this. Alright, next up here we have our Sword Swole. This duelist was so swole that they ended up playing 1 cross-out designator in their main deck. Now that is some absolute mad energy there. I see we're also playing, is that Heat Wave in the side deck? Interesting. I guess its entire purpose is to get the game back to your turn in case you like brick. But like an evenly plus a Heat Wave is just... that's devastating. I don't see anybody out here really having the chance or the recovery time to really clean that up. So that perfectly makes sense to me why we're playing some of those ratios. But all right, that just finds okay. Overall, though, this is by far one of the biggest innovations that I have seen out here. And our last list here is another Cash Money Dollar Bills. I see that we are playing the whole adventure package in here. Okay, so that's a little bit something different than we'd seen with the previous builds here. It's not to say that it's bad. I mean, it still works itself out so that you can punish your opponent, all right? Like, that's kind of the whole point in doing this, all right? Now, overall, the rest of like what you really expect out here with these decks pretty much maintains and does its thing. So that is your breakdown here for the Leon, Mexico Regional. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.